an article in the AJC, and the first thing I wrote on my Facebook was like, we need to do something. Does anyone write letters?
Wow.
Within a week, we had 750 people and a petition with 1,500 signatures.
And so once you learned some of the things that may come out of this bill, again, how did you disseminate that through the other students? Or was there already kind of an umbrella that was saying, hey, we need to pay attention to this? Because, again, I think people nationally and locally recognize that sexual assault on campuses is rampant. And it's not always talked about for different reasons. Fear from the victim, privacy from the school, all kinds of reasons why we don't talk about this. But once you realize, some of these things are going to be kind of detrimental, how did you continue to disperse that information?
Right, so we used a Facebook page, and we had a group and then a page, and a page was for us to kind of get out the information, like here are the numbers to call, here is what you can do. A lot of people are nervous for the first time calling the representative, so we had some talking points if they wanted, but we encouraged anyone to, read the bill.
Read from the heart,
and talk about their own experience with it. I'm a survivor, so this was actually the first time I came out publicly as a survivor. I was raped 3 years ago, and I kept trying to get involved in like different ways, but it never really felt like the right time. And then this kind of happened, and it just happened, and it was
absolutely the right time.
Yeah, and it was extremely empowering, and it's been hard. It's been extremely hard, but I think it has been really important and a really valuable experience for me, like going forward. So,
all right. Well, we want people to know. So, what are the things in the bill that kind of touched you that wait, no, this isn't good for me as a survivor? Tell me about some specifics that you absolutely thought.
Right. So, mandatory reporting in general, just removing that choice from the victim. And there are stipulations of you can go to like a licensed counselor, but a lot of schools don't even have licensed counselors. They have a lot of doctoral students working under therapists at school campuses, right? So you can't go to a coach, you can't go to your dean, you can't go to your professor. And the people that you naturally reach for, because you're in a school setting and you're a student and you care about your grades, you can't go to them.
Wow.
So just limiting the human range of emotion, the ability of who you can talk to is so detrimental. And there was a lot of conversation about, well, we want to lock these guys up and we want to put them away. The thing I would say to those people who express that is that after you're raped, you really just want to get better. You just want to be you, right? You want to live your life. Them being put away isn't going to change the fact that you're raped, right? So while that is such a well-intentioned thing to say, I think it misses the point of who the priority is after the rape occurs.
Right, what that person needs, what, to not be re-victimized, what that person might need is not necessarily just for the person.
And like school isn't, they're not trying to discipline the student, they're trying to encourage healthy conduct on their campuses. And if someone is engaging in conduct that is below the healthy standard, it might not qualify criminally as rape, but it violates the student code. It can be sexual misconduct, which is why, we don't deem it sexual assault, we call it sexual misconduct.
Wow. Well, where can people learn more to continue to push the envelope and continue to have these conversations and continue to make sure that the phone calls or the letters or whatever?
Definitely.
Because, it's the silence that keeps these things happening. And sometimes, again, it's not on anybody, purposefully, but we just don't think about it. If it's never happened to you.
It's not always accessible, too. So, if you search Students Against House Bill 51 on Facebook or Students Against HB 51, you can find a lot. There's a bunch of petitions by a bunch of different campuses going around, which is great because we have a lot. LGBTQ survivors aren't even recognized under the rape statute in the state of Georgia. It's defined as by sex organ. So, this bill doesn't even begin to allow half of the survivors justice, right? And so there are a lot of different groups doing a lot of different things, but we're all coming together across campuses, which is great. So you can reach out through Facebook and call your representatives, your personal ones or ones that are on the committees.
Thank you so much, Grace.
Thank you.
And for being the survivor who's not afraid to tell their story, and being a survivor who knows that it's important to continue the advocacy. So we appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. we could play a little part in this too. It doesn't have to be something daunting. It's all about learning and figuring out, what sits in your mind and what sits in your heart about this issue, and how can you be a part of the solution? How can you do a little bit of something to make it better for the next person? These things are happening all across the country, and these bills and these people who are, in this little dome are making decisions for all of us. And so we need to be a part of that process. To learn more, go to the Facebook page, see what you can do, especially.